Hello again, everybody. Welcome once more to Power Line with the Video Ministry. We're on episode number 156, and the title of today's message is The Female Champions of the Bible, Part 24. Female Champions of the Bible, Part 24. And last week's message was supposed to be Part 23, but the addendum consumed the whole message, so I had to retitle it A Rebuke of the Dragon. Now, I'm going to continue with the book of Ruth, and hopefully I'll conclude the book of Ruth and this message. As is my tradition, I have addendums, but this time they'll be short addendums. I'm going to consume the message like last time, but they're very important addendums. First one was based on my observation today. I've been saying in the past that I remember watching a video of like a testimony of people who God had taken in the spirit to see the spirit realm, spirit world, and they saw things that were either they were being invented by the demonic world, or they were things that people made, that people who saw the powers of darkness, that they were bringing to the demonic world to receive a demonic baptism, like a satanic baptism, to energize the product so it can become successful and sell and all that stuff. And the fashion designers who do this is big practice in the music industry, where they'll make an album, and then the master of the album, they'll take it to like a witchcraft ceremony, have a witchcraft ritual to invoke demons to that master, and as they they duplicate the master, it starts to transfer the power, it starts to duplicate the demonic power on that album to every single copy. Is kind of demonic power, so it enables them to sell and have great success, but it influences people to do all kind of things. And with the powers of darkness work, they influence your emotion. They don't care about your intellect. The emotion will bypass the intellect. The intellect will submit to the emotion. You start doing things you might even know it's wrong, but because you feel like doing it, you start doing it, and then you start to try to rationalize it. You might even tell yourself, I know it's wrong, why I'm doing this. That's Satan and the kingdom of darkness. That's how they operate. You glorify intellect, but they're not concerned with that. It's the emotions they want, because wherever your emotions go, you follow. Unless you know the plan. That's why they have to keep it secret. So their mission is to influence your emotion. To now. In one of those testimonies, they talk about the fashions, the certain outfits that they go and they receive that same baptism. They bring a copy, the original one, they energize it, demonize, give it a satanic baptism, and then from that one they start to copy, duplicate, they make kind of satanic energy. I'd always identified yoga pants. I hate yoga pants. I kept wondering, when are they going to get played out? I identified, I said, this is one of those fashions that were conceived in hell, or received that satanic baptism. Today, I received confirmation. I was looking at where I was looking. There was like a Caucasian neighborhood, and young people and all that stuff. And while I was waiting in my car, I'm looking around and all that stuff, noticing things. I pay attention to details of, I think it's the artist in me, what the prophetic inclination. I always notice details in everything, can't help it. I like to draw those details that I see. But this time I saw two young Caucasian girls. One of them had they used to call the Daisy Dukes, the jean shorts, the like pants that got the pants got turned into short. They got the legs ripped off to turn into shorts. Came up to here. The other one had the yoga pants. But I noticed something. The girl with the shorts, her whole legs were exposed. No energy was coming from her, even though her legs were exposed. The one wearing the yoga pants, the whole leg was covered, but the pants were hugging her legs. Energy was exuding from her legs. I said, this is a paradox. It's peculiar. The one with the legs exposed, the energy wasn't coming from the legs. The one with the legs covered from waist down to ankle, with the yoga pants tight, hugging her skin, that's the one that was exuding the energy. It perplexed me. I said, This now confirms my suspicion. And this yoga pants is one of those pants that were designed in hell or received the satanic baptism because the girl exposing her leg, her skin, the energy wasn't exuding from her, even though her skin was showing. The one wearing the yoga pants, that's the one the energy was exuding from. Whole leg was covered, just hugging her skin and saying, hey, this thing has received the satanic baptism. No wonder I was always suspicious of those pants. They even called yoga pants. If you're a Christian, the Lord doesn't want you wearing yoga pants. I know this one. I felt this one in my spirit. I said, God doesn't want Christians wearing yoga pants. First of all, it has a name that comes from another religion. Yoga, it comes from Hindu religion. That will justify this for real Christians, not the fake Christians. Christian yoga, that thing is a demon. That's something conceived from hell. If you're a Christian, you have no business wearing yoga pants. They try to popularize Muslim hijab. Christians don't wear that. Why? Because they know it belongs to the Muslims. If you will not wear Muslim hijab, why would you wear yoga pants? You won't wear Muslim hijab because it belongs to another religion, Islam. Why would you wear yoga pants when it belongs to, when it has the name of something that comes from another religion, Hinduism? When I saw those two girls, one leg showing from thigh all the way to ankle, leg showing, one energy exuding from her. But her friend, when the yoga pants, her entire leg was covered, but just hugging her leg. I said the energy was on that one. I said, how is it that the one that the legs exposed is not exuding the energy? Is the one with the pants that whole leg covered is exuding the energy? I said, that one has received that yoga pants has a demonic baptism. That the person the testimony was talking about, that they bring the product, the parts of darkness, have a demon. Now baptize it, energize it, infuse it with demonic energy, demonic force. As they begin to duplicate it, each one copy is carrying that demonic energy. Just like bacteria, when you look at it in a microscope, it begins to multiply and start to increase its in number. The same way, one of those parts, the original, they bring it, and the devil will put his satanic baptism on it, his satanic blessing. And then as they begin to duplicate it, it starts to carry the energy. I say, hey, the intellectual realm, they won't even know. It affects their emotion. Whatever affects their emotion, they'll go with. But you cannot intellectualize this. And this is spiritual matters. This is for Christians, not Christians. If you have yoga pants in your wardrobe, take it and get rid of that thing. It's carrying satanic energy. If I could see leg, the girl's leg, and the one whose leg was covered was exuding more energy than the one with the exposed leg. That tells me that that band is carrying demonic energy. So I began to look at, I said, wonder how many other fashion outfits that has this satanic energy embedded in them. I mean, it seems like it's a parallel situation, but I don't gamble with these things any longer because the devil is looking for subtle ways to enter. That's why you represent that as a serpent. Look for subtle ways to enter. Don't give any room space. Also, we are not ignorant of the devil's devices. Lest he gains advantage over us. His advantage is our ignorance. Our ignorance is his advantage. Okay. Now, I've said that one. Move on. I've talked about socialism, this whole thing where people wonder why the young people getting into socialism. I explained. It was a social engineering process. It took time. First, talked about socializing, the big thing when you have to be socialize. Then came social media. And with social media came those stuff, community, Facebook community, Instagram community, Twitter community. Then it all led to socialism, communism, world associations. So when I say socialism, communism, they think socializing and community, social media and community. What about socializing? Now I express that this is a deception. I heard watch a video with the KGB agent talking about how a former KGB agent, how they brought communism, socialism to other nations. They always offered free stuff. That was part of their deception. And their politicians were part of the deception. The politicians themselves were deceived and deceiving the people. After power has been acquired, then they reveal themselves and the politicians feel betrayed and turn against them and they start killing or imprisoning them. Now the ones young people here think it's going to be a different scenario. They have been prepped. They have been conditioned for the slavery that these powers want to put them in. It's slavery. Mm-hmm. How do I know this? Because I saw a TED talk. TED talk is technology and entertainment and design. On the picture on the video was a military guy in uniform. I said, what's military doing in TED talk? The military doesn't discuss its technology with civilians, so that caught my attention. So I watched it. But the guy was talking about their recruiting, that they have issues with this new generation, new young generation, that they're not used to physical activities, so their bones are not strong enough. Their bones are too brittle for the physical regimen that has been set up for them. They're breaking their bones and all that stuff, having fractures, so they have to prepare another physical regimen before the main physical regimen, all that stuff. I said, So these ones that have been conditioned by, the only place they really have strength, their fingers, to text and type on computer, and then play video games and that stuff. So they're not used to physical. It's not like the old days when children played and they had acquainted with physicality. I said, so they condition them both physically and mentally. Mentally, they are weak. They just pursue pleasure. They weaken them. Video games and all that stuff weaken them. Physically, they've also been weakened. So if they get what they want, socialism, communism, and they discover it's an oppressive government, because the way it works, you vote your way into the system, but you have to fight your way out. That's the routine. You don't vote yourself out of those systems. Venezuela, what's happening? They're trying to fight their way out. It's the routine. You vote socialism in. When it doesn't work, you don't vote it out. You have to fight out, because when they receive power, they don't want to give it up. They want to enslave you permanently. But these children, this generation, they will not be able to fight their way out. Mentally or physically, they are weak. They cannot. I said, they've been prepared. It's not by coincidence. They've been prepared. Mentally, they brainwash them to think, socialism, we socialize. Community, we have a community. Physically, they've been conditioned. Games and smartphones and all that stuff. They have physical strength. If God doesn't change the tide of things, we're in trouble. And speaking of those conditioning, that leads to the next one. Common core mathematics. I call it the formula for ending Western civilization. Why? Because mathematics is the foundation of Western civilization. Everything that we do, the thinking of Western civilization, we follow a mathematical protocol of logic, balancing of equations, even our justice system, moral code, it follows a mathematical protocol. Even the Bible follows mathematical protocol, balancing of equation. Whatever man sows, that shall he reap. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. 1 + 1 = 2. That's the principle. Our justice system, you see the lady of justice carrying a balance. That's a mathematical principle. What's on this side is equal to what's on this side. 1 + 1 = 2. Everything, the technology, it runs on a mathematical protocol. The Newton's third law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. 1 + 1 = 2. That's what makes our combustion engines possible. Internal combustion engine, the planes, that's why the engine is able to power them. Whether it's propeller or jet engine, using that same law. The car's engine, the boat's engine, motorcycle's engine, using that same. That's what makes us mobile. That's the foundation of Western civilization, mathematics. Common core is destroying it. I saw comparative to a split screen video, traditional math and common core. The woman did the traditional math in no time when they started making coffee. This one was still doing it with common core. It was 5 times more complicated than the other way. So why did they complicate this? I said, somebody's intentionally trying to destroy mathematics. And their method doesn't give you an answer. It just gets you around the answer. I said, you cannot build anything with this. You cannot build cars, motorcycles. You cannot build planes. You cannot build rockets. Nothing you can do with this math. I said, somebody's intentionally trying to destroy the foundations of Western civilization by destroying mathematics. That's it. So the future problem now, they're talking about, they don't know why the young people are getting to socialism. They were being brainwashed, why the adults were being distracted. Because the elite, they know how to distract. They've studied this thing from way back. Its method of distraction comes from ancient Rome. When the people are given trouble, they just through an event in the Colosseum, and the people go and start watching the event, either the racing horses or gladiator or whatever. Those methods, they're thousands of years old, so they know how to distract the people. While people are being distracted, their children's minds are being brainwashed and lobotomized in the academic systems. So now the children are supporting society. They're wondering why. It took time. You are being distracted while they were taking away the mind of your children. So now, with this common core, future problems to come, these children will not be able to ascend to higher levels of math. They will not be able to get into pre-algebra because their arithmetic is messed up. So you can forget algebra after that. You can forget geometry, you can forget pre-calculus, you can forget calculus, because their foundations are all messed up. The parents can't even help them in their studies because they don't know this strange method of math. Common core, it was designed to destroy the foundation of Western civilization. If math goes, so goes Western civilization. Form of logic is gone. The Democrats now, how the Democratic politicians, how if you're a Democrat, you do something, it's fine. If you're a Republican, you do it, then they condemn you for it. That'll be an entire generation thing like that. They don't have a mathematical protocol of logic, balancing equation. They don't have balance. You do it, as you're a Democrat, it's fine. The Republican do it, then they condemn you. You won't just be the politician doing it. You'll be an entire generation. No balance in their mind. What you see now with the politicians, they'll be the whole generation. That's what happens. That's how Western civilization begin to break, fall to pieces. No sense of rationale, logic be gone. So that's the future, where it's going to lead to now. Those children that are being taught common core, they will not be able to ascend to higher levels of mathematics. Because when they, as they move up, the rubbish they've been taught to common core, they cannot function. They don't know mathematics, period. That's it. It was designed to destroy mathematics. So take your children out of public schools. Find private schools or homeschooling should start to boom now, or private school. Public school is liberal wasteland, liberal cesspool for indoctrination, which leads to the next point now. Part of that liberal cesspool of indoctrination is transgender story hour. I was puzzled about it because it's always transgender, it's always men dressed as women. It's not women dressed as men. Always one side, men dressed as women. I was puzzled about it. What is the elites? Because the elites, they are devil worshippers. People don't want to accept these things. These are the realities. The things that were called conspiracies decades ago, they're all happening now. So if you're not saying conspiracy theory, you're the one that will sound foolish. They're all happening. So what is the scheme behind this thing? Lord, open my eyes to see it. Transgender story hour. The elites are devil worshippers. They want to initiate, they want to bring them devil worshiping out of the shadows, bring them out. But they are socially engineering a generation that will accept devil worship. That's what the transgender story hour is about. The image of the devil that the Satanists use, called Baphomet, is a transgender. It has goat head, goat legs, a woman's breast, men's genital. So in order to get a generation that will be willing to accept devil worship in the open, you start from when they are children, get them acquainted with the image of half man, half woman. So by the time it comes when they start to bring out these things, it's already embedded in them. They're already familiar with it. They're too young, 3, 4, 5 years old. It's already embedded. They are already acquainted with that stuff. I said, this is social engineering. Why they are distracting their parents? They are preparing them. The powers that be know what they are doing. They've been doing it for a long time. I'm able to even spot the social engineering that took place in my own generation. I wouldn't know it. Now the eyes are opening. Take your children out of public school. If you love your children, you don't leave them in the hand of this liberal, because at the top, higher level, where they are receiving their common liberals, they don't think they take orders. No reasoning and rationality, they are taking orders. At the top, higher level, these are Satanists, devil worshippers. They want to bring this, they want to initiate, create a society where devil worshiping is now out in the open. So the next surprise will be, oh, why are so many children in devil worship? And they're saying, why millennials to socialism, communism? The next one will be, why are so many people into devil worshiping? I saw heading of an article that said half of Satanists are LGBT. I said, because LGBT, that's what's getting its power, Satanism. And another one that said there's a whole, either half or a lot of these transgenders that go for this transgender story hour are also Satanists or involved in it or something like that. I said, Of course Satan has his hand. He always wants the children. The statue that they put out of the devil, they made it a male. It was supposed to be actually a transgender, have female breast and male gender, but they made it a male. They had 2 children next to him. That's the game. They want to capture the next generation. Now, finally, before I get into the message, the final addendum. It had to do with President Trump. Now, I noticed that that made Trump, I don't know, I said, you made this man super strong. He was already strong, but I said, you made him excessively strong. That's what was driving his opponents, his opposition crazy. Because God usually balances the equation. If there's this much trouble, he doesn't give this much trouble, a little bit more, whatever. But it's like there's this much trouble, and his strength level is up here. That's why they are going crazy. You know, kind of crazy stuff. I said, you overpowered the man. He's strong, but he didn't have to be that strong for the opposition. And why do you give him all this strength? And Lord revealed to me that it's because he is a foundation that his descendants will stand upon. There are more Trumps to come in the White House. The father, Donald Trump, is laying the foundation. He's a builder. He understands the foundation is the strongest part of the building because it will carry everything else. So he's the foundation that will carry his future descendants. That's why he was made strong. It wasn't because of his enemies, because of the future generations. Now it makes sense. So with that, I make the announcement. Not only will Trump win the next election with ease, but come 2024, Donald Trump Jr. is going to run and win, and he'll be the next president, and he too will serve 2 terms. Let me reserve the others. I wait till their time comes. Because if Ivanka Trump decides to run for president after her brother, because he's next in line, if she runs as a Republican, she'll win and she'll serve 2 terms. As an independent, she'll not win. Democrats don't want that because of the name Trump. But if she runs as a Republican, she'll be America's first female president. So that's the foundation. God, Donald Trump, the foundation that the other senators will stand on. That's why he was made so strong. I said, now it makes sense. Because I said, you overpowered the man. He's too strong. Like, he doesn't need that strength. But what they do, you give him more strength. That's why his enemies are going nuts, because he's just so strong. So he's a foundation. Now, it's another prophet that said it, that there'll be another Trump in the White House. So that was confirmation. That gave me my confidence. It can't be just one. By the Bible says, by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, let everything be established. So when God revealed it to me, revealed it to someone else, I say it's established. I'm hoping there'll be a 3rd person. Now I'm getting the message. The amount of time that I have. Dealing with the book of Ruth, hopefully I'll be able to conclude. I see how much time I got, okay? Hopefully I'll be able to conclude. When I last talked, I talked about how Boaz mentioned that Ruth was a virtue, that all the town knew that she was a virtuous woman. And it was verse 11. When Ruth, when he woke up and saw Ruth laying by his feet, and Ruth mentioned to him that he was basically a kinsman redeemer. And, basically, she wanted to be his wife. And his response was, and verse 11 was like, and he said, from verse 10, he said, blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning. And as much as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people doth know that thou art a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman. That's what qualified her with Boaz. The whole city knows that she was a virtuous woman. Then he said this. And now it is true that I am a near kinsman. Howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I. I said, yeah, but I'm a kinsman. But we have a problem. There's one ahead of me in line. Which means Boaz was an honorable man. He himself was virtuous and an honorable man. He didn't try to jump in line. So the man didn't know, the other kinsman didn't know about Ruth. But because he was a virtuous man, he was a man of honor. There was conviction in his heart. He said, yeah, but there's someone else ahead of me. And this is what it says next. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if he will perform unto thee the part of a king's man, well, let him do the king's man's part. But if he will not do the part of a king's man to thee, then will I do the part of a king's man to thee, as the Lord liveth. Lie down until the morning. So if he wants you, then he will have you. But if he doesn't want you, then I'll have you. He was an honorable man. They say, the guy doesn't know about this situation, even though he's ahead of me. He doesn't know about it. And he just a step ahead of him. And later on, issue will emerge. Oh, how come you married that one? I was next king's man. He was an honorable man. He had conviction. And she lay at his feet until the morning. And she rose up before one could know another. Boaz are honorable men. They are men of honor. They are not shiesty men. They are men, virtuous men, men of honor. This was an honorable thing he was doing. Because the other guy didn't know about Ruth. He didn't have to. He didn't have to tell the other guy about Ruth. He could have kept it to himself. But he was a man of honor. He had conviction in his heart. So we are looking for a Boaz, he has to be an honorable man. Not just a mighty man of wealth, a mighty man of wealth, but corrupt as heck. But he's a mighty man of wealth, but he was a man of honor. Man of principle. They tarry this night, and he said, okay. And she lay at his feet until the morning. And she rose up before one could know another. And he said, let it not be known that a woman came to the floor. He didn't want any scandal brewing, because people, they would just go by appearance, even though nothing happened, but just because it appeared as if gossip, it's just become gossip fodder. So let not be known that a woman came up here, because they're not going to listen to, oh, nothing happened. No, it's sweeter if they make up a story that, and he was rubbing on her, and he did this, and he did that, and did that. That's what it becomes sweet gossip. He knew how people were. So say, let it not be known that a woman came up here, but they're not going to believe that nothing happened. And indeed, nothing happened, but they don't believe that. You know what the Bible says, that's saying from the mere appearance of evil. Because even though nothing happened, people will make up stories. Nothing happened, they will make up stories. That's just their nature. They follow nature of man. But if you hear the truth is not sweet. The truth is usually bitter. If they lie, that is sweet. Okay. And he also said, bring the veil that thou hast upon thee, and hold it. And when she held it, he measured 6 measures of barley and laid it on her, and she went into the city. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, who art thou, my daughter? It was funny, the question that Naomi asked her. I said, who art thou, my daughter? I said, is it because the sun hasn't risen yet and she couldn't see her face properly? But I looked at the answer that Ruth gave Naomi. Then it made sense what the question she was asking her. It wasn't that she didn't recognize her. It was true that she didn't recognize her. So who art thou, my daughter? And she told her all the man had done to her. So basically, she's asking, what position are you in as you're coming in now? Are you coming in as the way you left, or are you coming in favored? So who are you? Are you a favored person coming in now, or are you disfavored, or what? Who art thou? What was the condition? Did the man, did he try to do something or whatever? Or was he honorable towards you or whatever? Who are that? Who are you? Who are you coming as now? As you're coming back, who are you? What position are you in as you're coming back? That's the question she was asking her. Who are thou, my daughter? Like, what position are you in with the man? What position are you in right now? Are you a favored or disfavored person? Did the man accept or did he reject you? So who are you? Are you accepted or are you rejected? Are you favored or are you disfavored? Who art thou, daughter? So her answer was, hey, told her everything in the man had done. So you decide, does that sound like I'm being disfavored? It sounds like I'm favored. This is what he said. Okay. Who art thou? And she said, and she told her all that the man had done to her. And she said, these 6 measures of barley gave he me, for he said to me, go not empty unto thy mother-in-law. Boaz are generous men. So go not empty unto thy mother-in-law. So Boaz are generous men. So these are traits. You go, oh, send me a Boaz. He has standards, but there are also standards by which to determine if it's a Boaz or if it's just an imitation of a Boaz. Don't think everything that has wealth and possession is a Boaz. You find yourself in serious trouble. Boaz are hard to find. They are rare. These are character qualities that you don't find anywhere, just in anybody. You go not to your mother and go empty-handed. Then she said, sit still, my daughter, until thou know how the matter will fall. For the man will not be in rest until he have finished the thing this day. Boaz are men that obsessively complete tasks at hand. She said, daughter, sit, relax until, and she said, sit still and relax, my daughter, until thou know how the matter will fall. For the man will not be in rest until he has finished the thing this day. Either Naomi knew this man well because she had known him all her life, or she had great discernment of spirit, the gift of discernment of spirit, or combination. Because that's exactly what happened. Naomi knew this man well. With a combination. So you will not be all rest. So maybe something that Boaz always do. Once he's set about to do something, I must get it done this day. Obsessively. They have an obsession with finishing the task. Whatever they start, they have to obsessively finish. Now, chapter 4, it gets into Boaz. This is where it gets interesting. In the way, the dynamics of things that happened in chapter 4, I was thinking, was Boaz making up this stuff just because he wanted to get Ruth, wanted to get the other king's man, not to desire Ruth. Because I said, why would he go through that trouble? He didn't have to tell the man. No, because he said a whole bunch of stuff. Like, was he making all this? I just think he made all that stuff up. Now I understand, he was telling the truth. This had to do with the tradition of the Jews. Well, back then, I don't know the tradition that's still standing. So now it begins, verse 1, chapter 4, verse 1. Then went Boaz to the gate and sat him down there. And behold, the king's man of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, Ho, such a one, turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, Sit ye down here. And they sat down. This was a council of the elders. This was an executive boardroom meeting. A meeting of the board of directors, because the elders are the ones who run the city. These are the elders of Bethlehem. So these are the directors, the executives of Bethlehem. If Bethlehem was a corporation, these are the executives. This is the board of directors, the shareholders. Have a shareholders meeting, have a board of directors meeting. So it's called for an executive meeting. Boaz, they are men who hold executive meeting because they are executives themselves. So they hold executive meetings. The people who run corporations. So they're used to having an executive meeting. But in a multitude of counsel, there's wisdom. So it brings a multitude of counsel so that wisdom will manifest from it. And he took 10 of the elders. And he took 10 of the elders of the city and said, Sit ye down here. And they sat down. And he said unto the king's man, Naomi that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land, which was our brother Elimelech's. And I thought to advertise thee, saying, Buy it before the inhabitants and before the elders of my people. If thou wilt redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me, that I may know. For there is none to redeem it beside thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it. So, you got land? Oh, I'll redeem it. I'll buy the land. Yeah. So, thank you. I'll redeem it. Yeah, I'll buy the land. I'll redeem the land. Redeeming the land is easier than being a kingsman redeemer for people. And we're about to find out why. This is now the Lord has a tradition of saving the best for last. This is now the final, the conclusion of the matter now ensues. Where, in the movie, when you're watching the movie, you don't have all the details, you have a little bit of little piece here, little piece here. And at the end, everything comes together. This is how it's working out like a movie. at the end of chapter 4, that's when everything comes together. Everything is now manifested and revealed. Both on the surface and beneath the surface. The man said, yeah, I will redeem it. Yeah, I get land. But then he tells him, oh, there's an attachment. This email has an attachment that you might not like. Then said Boaz, what day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance. And the king's man said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar my own inheritance. Redeem thou my rights to thyself, for I cannot redeem it. What happened here? The king's man redeemer, and I began to understand this thing, because when I was reading, I said, why is this story of Judah and his sons keep coming up? Because one son died, then the wife Tamar, he told the younger son to marry Tamar and have children in honor of the son that died. And the man who slept with Tamar then spilled the seed on the ground, and God got angry and killed him for his wickedness. And then the third son wasn't old enough, so told her to you have to wait until he's grown. But then he didn't want to marry the youngest son to her later on, because he didn't want the youngest son to die. So Tamar tricked Judah because Judah had denied her. Tamar tricked Judah into sleeping with her, and then she got pregnant. I didn't know it was her. Thought it was sleeping with a prostitute. And Tamar, when he found out that she was pregnant, wanted to have her killed, and then they discovered that he was the one that got her pregnant. She said, whoever owns this, because when he slept with her, I think she was a prostitute, she took some items from him. And then when he was about to have her killed, he said, whoever owns this is the one that got me pregnant, and it was him. So he said, oh, she's more righteous than me. And she gave birth to 2 children. One of the name of the children was Phares. His name is going to come up. So with that whole scenario, I kept thinking, it kept reminding me of that scenario. I said, does it have something to do with this situation? It did. It was the Lord that brought it in my spirit. Then, and the king's man said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar my own inheritance. Redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it. So what is happening? The king's man redeemer, they're supposed to have children for the one in the honor of the dead. So it will be as if it's the other person's child. It will not be recognized as their own child. They had the child, and it will now be identified as the child of the other person. So if Judah's younger brother had children with Tamar, the child will not be recognized as his older son's children, not the younger son's children. So the older son's children will not be calling the younger son, instead of daddy, they call him uncle. That kind of situation. So it would be as though it was the older son's children who had the older son's child who had the older son who had died. Those are his children. So that's the redeeming situation. You like a surrogate. Today we call it surrogate. That's what it is. So that's what he's saying. That's the king's man redeemer, to be a surrogate. Now this was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing to conform all things. A man plucked off his shoes and gave it to his neighbor, and it was a testimony in Israel. I didn't do research on that, but again, it goes back to the feet. That's what represents dominion. So by handing the shoe, it means a symbol of handing you dominion, something like that. I don't want to make up anything. I can research it later, but that's what it seemed like. I didn't do research on that. That's how much time I got. Okay. This was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing. For to confirm all things, a man plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor, and this was a testimony in Israel. Therefore the king's man said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe. So the king's man took off his shoe and gave to Boaz, which means I'm giving you dominion. That's what it appears like. He said, since the foot is what you establish dominion with, wherever the sole of your foot is tread upon, that shall I give you. So the foot is what to establish dominion with. And Ruth came and laid down at his feet. And then she commented on dominion. The man taking off his shoe to give Boaz, which means he's giving him dominion. So I'm giving you the dominion. So it seems like. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, ye are witnesses this day. I have bought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Shilon's and Mahlon's, and of the hand of Naomi. So we now find out what was the full picture. There was real estate involved with Naomi, real estate connected to Ruth. It wasn't mentioned before. Now this is the conclusion of the matter. Everything. This is not the ending of the movie where now all the things, the puzzles are being pieced together. At the end of the movie, now it's, oh, now it all makes sense. Everything is coming together now. But there's real estate involved. Mahlon and Shilon, Elimelech's sons, they had Naomi. They had what of man? I said before that Naomi, she must have been a wealthy woman for the town to react to her like that. When she came, oh, is this Naomi? She said, oh, don't come in, Mara. I left food, I came back empty. She had real estate, so indeed she was a wealthy woman, as I said before. They said she was a wealthy woman, because people don't react like that. If she was poor, they won't react like that. But people won't react to wealthy people like that. So now I said, oh, she had land, she had real estate. Yeah. And all that Shilon's and Mahlon's stuff. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, ye are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Shilon's and Mahlon's, and of the hand of Naomi. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day. This is what the kinsman redeemer does. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead may not cut off from among the brethren, and from the gates of his palace. Ye are witnesses this day. Explain the kinsman, so the offspring will not be recognized as his, be recognized as another's. Displaying surrogate. That's the kinsman redeemer. I always wondered about that thing. Finally, the revelation came, what the kinsman redeemer does. Because I heard they preach, nobody ever gave the revelation. It used to be such a boring book, I avoided it. When the Lord said, ministered to me that it's heavy revelation here, I said, Root? And this one I have to see. Because I'm like, that boring book, let's skip that thing. Now the revelation is coming out. Verse 11. And all the people that were in the gates, and the elders said, now this part is crucial. Lord ministered to me that he heard the request of the elders. See, elder, that's the only title in church that is also in heaven. Elder, there are 24 elders in heaven. Elders on earth, elders in heaven. No bishop, no pastor, no apostle, no prophet, no teacher, no evangelist, no deacon. Elder, that's the only title in church that is also in heaven. So when the elder spoke concerning this matter, it was recorded in heaven. This is what brought King David came from the line of Boaz, but this is where it happened, where God had the elders. Generations later, he asked him one of the requests of the elders. This is where it happened. And all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, we are witnesses. The Lord made the woman that is come into that house like Rachel and like Leah, the wives of Jacob, which two did build the house of Israel. And do thou worthily in Ephrathah, and be famous in Bethlehem. Is that not what happened? Ruth, the Moabitess, the Jetha, he ended up as a book in the Bible. One of the two women who books of the Bible were named after. Ruth, she became as famous as Rachel and Leah. And a book is named Rachel and Leah. They don't have books. Ruth had a book. This is what the elders were saying, and heaven was responding. Honored. Verse 12. And let the house be like the house of Pharez, whom came about unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. Pharez. That was the bastard child of Judah, which he had with Tamar. Why did they mention fathers? We'll find out at the end as I'm closing this down. Closing this now. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went into her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. And the women said unto Naomi, Blessed be the Lord, which hath not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine old age. For thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, had borne him. And Naomi took the child, and laid it in her bosom, and became nurse unto it. Naomi took the child. So the child, it was as if now it was Naomi's own son. That's the kinsman redeemer. That's what he did. He redeemed the situation of Naomi. Ruth and Boaz gave birth to the child, but the child went to Naomi, redeemed Naomi's situation. So the child now called Naomi mommy, and turned around Ruth and Boaz by calling them auntie and uncle. But they know that they are his parents. That you now see why the other man ran away when I told him you have to be a redeemer. He said, I don't want to redeem this situation. No, you go ahead. Took his shoe. Hey, take. I want to have my own children. I have them call me daddy. I want them to call me uncle. I call someone else daddy or mom. Someone else. That was a sacrifice. And the women, her neighbors, gave it a name. It was the women, her neighbors, that named the child. And the women, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, there is a son born to Naomi, and they called his name Obed. I said, this one's interesting. I've never seen this before. Usually it's the father or the mother that names. But this one, the women named the child. As so the child belongs to the whole community. And